Alright, so yeah, this is my first live stream in regard to the upcoming Halloween video game. Um I'm extremely excited for it, and I can't wait to play it. So this is what we're going to talk about. Actually, we're going to go all the way back in time to August 20th, the first hub post. Alright, that's what this stream is going to be about. It's going to be about the first hub post. I'm using the F-13 virtual cabin because basically the whole point of all of this, the whole point of this new game as well, well, what you'll see from this new game, this Halloween game, you're going to see how far IllFonic and Gun Interactive have progressed since this game, right? Because this game is where it all began, and that's why I find this to be a great place for me to actually talk about the future, because I mean, this is really it. It started here with the Halloween video. It literally started here with F-13, the game between Gun Interactive and IllFonic, right? Gun Interactive published this game and IllFonic developed it. How many of you actually really got to play it and invest in it and really fully experience it? Really distinguishes like what you are anticipating from Halloween the game. You know what I mean? Whether you're a horror fan or you're just a gamer that became a horror fan because of games like this, you know what I mean? Or you're a horror fan that became a gamer because of a game like this. This is really where it all pretty much started for a lot of big horror fans. I mean, there's other games that have horror in it, but I don't think they really touch on it like this game did, or like Halloween the game will, with respect to authenticity. That's a big one for a game like this, and it will also be a big one for a game like Halloween the game. So basically, yeah, so I'm talking about the hub post that dropped August 20th, 2025. This is my first, like, talk about all that. The huge partnership is definitely between IllFonic and Gun Interactive. They're co-publishing it together, and IllFonic's also developing it. For everybody who's like not big on Gun Interactive just because of like what's going on with this game and what's going on with Texas the Chainsaw Massacre game, I can understand that completely. However, it doesn't really bother me if you think about it from a business standpoint. What happened with this game? The game was already in development while that lawsuit was going on. That lawsuit really screwed this game up. Whether you want to talk about, oh, they should have released this, they should have released that. I wish they would have released more, of course. I actually, what I really would have wanted more than anything is this map right here. This is the map from F-13 Part 9, Jason Goes to Hell. That would have been a really cool map, especially if they could have been added in the basement and had the Necronomicon in it. If they could have licensed that into it, that would have been awesome. But there was a lot of potential with this game, and to see where it went, and understanding how these devs are, and how Gun Interactive is as a publishing company, it definitely had a lot of potential and would have really gone far had that lawsuit not just eaten all of this alive and given us what we have now. So I mean, that is what it is, unfortunately. But like, what I'm trying to say is I'm really excited to see what these two companies can put together now compared to what they put together back then with this game. How the Halloween game has evolved, how they've evolved together since then, because I mean, this game was huge, and I think no matter how you feel about both dev teams, no matter what you think or feel or any of that stuff, I think everyone's definitely gonna buy the Halloween game and play it, no matter what they, no matter what goes on. I really feel like they will, and I think it's really gonna be entertaining and fun to play. I think it's gonna be a great IP, and I think it has the potential to really have a great future for sure. More than this game did. I think they have way more creative freedom. Um, and like that's the same thing with the Texas Chainsaw game. I think part of the problem with that game was there wasn't as much creative freedom, and I think with Halloween we have way more creative freedom with what we'll see and what they'll be able to do with it. I know they're working with Compass International Pictures and Further Front, the original producers of the 1978 film, um, because they actually have like the producers involved and not just like one company that just owns the rights. I think it's gonna run a lot differently. Also, the other main difference is John Carpenter's a gamer, right? John Carpenter, the director of Halloween, the original Halloween, he's an actual gamer. So I mean that also changes a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what I'm looking forward to as well. Hey, what's up, Craig? How are you? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're absolutely right. They do update their games. Yeah, I mean it's they do have their balance issues for sure. They definitely do. But I mean that's the thing. What I'm gonna do is um definitely try to unbalance it. Whatever their meta is, whatever they patch, I'm definitely gonna be pushing against it on both sides. With this game, I played both sides a lot. I loved it. It was vulnerable to things like teaming and nonsense like that, unfortunately. It had a lot of vulnerabilities, but they've learned since then a lot, and so newer games don't really fall into that, fortunately. So a lot of issues like that aren't there anymore, which are really good. Now, there's other issues with balancing and stuff and how they want it and everything. The main thing I learned, like, between this game and between the Texas Chainsaw game, which IllFonic had nothing to do with, is I kind of got the feeling that TCSM wasn't going to keep going once they said they were not interested in increasing the level capital. I feel like that was basically the first premonition that that game was kind of done for. Um, if you stop the progression in a game like that, you're basically telling everybody that where you are is where you are, and that's it for the game. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate because they could have done a lot more with that game. But again, when you're doing an IP based on movies, there's always issues with that. There's issues with getting in characters, who owns this, who owns that. And so to prevent it becoming a mess, you want to stick with what you have, what you can control, so that nobody can just roll out of the woodwork and be like, oh, well, this game's making millions off of this IP, and I wrote this or did this on it, and I want to sue them because I didn't get my this or that, or whatever people have the ability to do. You want to make sure that what you're putting in your game, if it's based off an IP, there's no vulnerability like that. You know what I'm saying? Used to play tournaments in F13. You started the whole. No, that's awesome, dude. I really respect that too. That's really freaking cool. Yeah, and like that's the thing. I wanted to talk about that with the tournaments and all that too. Like I know the idea behind this game. They weren't really big on the tournament scene at all, and I really find that to be a really big oversight for them because I mean, no matter what, with any of these games, if you want it to maintain its horror, you're not going to be able to once someone reaches like 500 hours or 1,000 hours. The horror loop is kind of out of the question then. You know what I'm saying? And so the excuse the devs had, like the excuse that Gunn had, or IllFonic, I don't know if IllFonic commented on the tournament scene or not. I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but I do know that Gun said that they don't like the tournament scene because it took away from the horror of the game. But I mean, the more you play the game, that takes away from the horror of the game too. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it just is what it is. Once you reach a certain point, the horror's not there anymore. It's just the joy of playing the game for what it is, you know? Yeah, people started exploiting, which, yeah, of course, you know what I mean? And at the same time, though, um, the exploitation of the game itself is still on the devs. You can only do what the game entitles you to do in it, right? So unless those get fixed and worked on and worked out and balanced and reshaped, people are going to do that. That's kind of their prerogative, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? You can't leave that in the game and then blame the gamer for doing it. It's their product, they bought it, they'll play it how they want. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of their right. It is literally the devs. It's up to the devs to take that stuff out, and if they fail to do so, then people are gonna keep doing that stuff all they want, unfortunately, and that's just part of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. That's it ate the game alive, but it's still the creator's responsibility to rebalance it and fix the things that are allowing the exploitation, so it doesn't keep happening. You know what I'm saying? And if they can't figure out how to fix that, it's going to stay in the game and it's going to eat away at it, unfortunately. That's why things like that need to be fixed right away, looked at right away, and understood right away, so they can be taken out so they don't infringe on other people's experience in the game, you know? You told them about the exploits, but they need devs to do the... Yeah, just... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you want people to play normal, but once they figure out how to play like that, they're gonna keep doing it no matter what. It's just like human nature. I mean, it's just natural, unfortunately. Some people will play normally if they know how to do that stuff. Other people will take advantage because they want to win. You know what I'm saying? They'll do anything to win at all costs. And that's part of what eats a game like this alive, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And so with future titles, whatever IPs they come out with or whatever they work on, the main priority is definitely to understand where hacking ruins it, where exploits ruin it, so that it can be balanced and played properly and right, you know? Yeah, if you fix one thing, it breaks something else, of course. I feel like nowadays, though, what we'll see, yeah, and that's a good thing to put in. That's literally another thing that ate this game alive, was that kind of issue. But I think nowadays we'll see such an improvement between what they knew when this game came out and what they know now, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's really going to play a tremendous part in the experience of the Halloween game compared to the F-13 game. Um, when this game came out, they had a vision on how they thought people would play it, and what they didn't realize, I mean, they were not prepared for the amount of people that played this game on day one. The servers really like blew up like completely. They weren't not anticipating that. They weren't prepared for that. They're too small of a team. Both teams too, even combined, were way too small for like how it just like advanced itself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they did not anticipate that game just blowing up the way it did, and so I mean that they really bit off more than they could chew. Which I mean, it's good for us, and it's good for them too in a way. But at first, it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, just imagine that you made this your little team made this huge game, and it just skyrockets out of nowhere. You're not anticipating that, so when all this blows up like that, you're on damage control right away, and there's only so much you could do with the team you have to fix all this. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I think it's great that IllFonic and Gun are both publishing this together, because no matter what you say about both of them, as we all know, with IllFonic, for sure, as long as the games are making money, they're still going to keep going. I mean, when did Predator Hunting Grounds come out? It has a PS5 version to it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, who thought that was going to happen when that game dropped, right? But it does. So, it's all there. And with gun involved, you have that same strictness toward authenticity. And I don't care. I mean, I don't care how little their role is or what it is. I don't care. I don't see them as scammers or any of that shit. I don't at all. I just understand that it's a business at the end of the day, no matter what. For one thing, you know. Just saying the way Halloween works is that the bloodlust you get from killing and stalking, it gives your ability cooldowns. You are harder to stun and you take less damage, and the grab is more powerful. Yeah, as it should be. I mean, yeah, you should be way more powerful as the killer. It shouldn't take like one or two skilled players to really figure it all out and be the best at the game. It shouldn't be that way at all. And I think that's what this Halloween game will have more than any of the other games have had in the past and everything. And that's the thing, is the growth. Just not getting paid. Yeah, no, I mean, you can get paid if you make content out of it. That's how you get paid. You gotta get paid that way. Friggin' post it on TikTok, go live with it on TikTok, go live with it on YouTube, go live with it on Twitch, Facebook Live. Anything you can go live with this game on, go live with it on. And just try to work it on all platforms. Even Instagram, I think you can do it. You can go live on Instagram, so you can definitely play this live on Instagram too, you know? Everything. Just try it. Go all out with it, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how many people use Instagram as a live gaming platform, but I mean, it's a platform you can go live on. I'm not really big on it. I would, if I had, I'm still ghetto. That's why I'm talking about this game. I'm talking about the Halloween game and F13 the game on my PlayStation 4 right now, which I don't care. I mean, it is what it is. I'm on my PS4. I have a PS5, but it's bricked. But that's a whole other topic that I'm not getting into right now. But yeah, I can only really do just chatting streams through the virtual cabin in F13 the game because I'm restricted to streaming through games via my PlayStation. So that's my situation. Yeah, you can escape right away, but you're not going to get any points. That's good. That's how it should be. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be, oh, I escaped and I'm at the top of the leaderboard or whatever at the end of the game, because that's silly. That's foolishness. That means you just rode someone else's wave and they did everything and you didn't do anything. So that should be reflected, honestly. I like that. I wish more games told everybody what you did while you're playing it, too. I think that's really important. I like that Killer Clowns actually showed everybody what you had in your inventory, what you were carrying around, so like you couldn't hide something like you could in this game. In this game you could pick the car, you could have like what? The keys to the car, you could have them on you, nobody knew you had them on you, and you could team with Jason the rest of the game and nobody would be able to have the car or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You could, there's other things you could have on you, like the fuse too, the same thing. You could have the fuse on you the whole game, nobody would know. You know what I mean? How would anybody prove anything? Jason would have to kill them, or you'd have to run them over. And if someone's holding the keys and the fuse, you can't run them over. You know what I'm saying? And if Jason's teaming with a person that has all that, you can't do anything about it, right? But it's all evolved since then between TSCSM and the Killer Clowns game. You know what I'm saying? Everything's evolved since then, and that's really the most significant part about that. Oh, you could level the weapons up too? That's really cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, I haven't been keeping up, but I want to start, and this is my start for all that, so it's why I'm talking about it and like want to understand it and play it and just learn the meta, and every time they patch it, I'm literally gonna understand what perks this happened to and that happened to, so that I can create a new meta based on that. That's what I did in TCSM. I learned the perk system and learned how this and that worked, and so every time they patched that game, I'd figure something out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could watch other creators and stuff and watch what they do. I don't feel like waiting for them though. I don't feel like waiting for someone to like drop a whole video. I want to freaking drop that first myself, and that's what I'm gonna do. Battle between light and dark. Yeah, man, it's It's all the meta battle. That's really it. What perks are meta, how you can use them, how this works, how that got buffed, and how that got nerfed. But then again, whenever, like, here's the thing: whenever devs do this stuff in these games, they already know what perks are actually meta. They already know all this stuff. Like, people are under the assumption that these devs don't know what's going on. They do. That's why whenever they nerf this perk or that perk, there's other perks that actually start shining instead that are right there in front of everybody. Just people don't sit there and take the time to actually read them and understand them and how they work. They just want to keep playing the game the same way, which can really get boring, and that's why it's important for the rebalancing, nerfing this perk, nerfing that perk, buffing this and buffing that, so that you learn to play the game other ways, use other perks, and just make other decisions in matches. It keeps the game alive, you know, and that's really significant as well. Yeah, no, it really is. So I'm gonna read right now. I'm gonna read the whole hub post, the first part of it, and then I'm gonna elaborate on it, and then I'm gonna talk about the other two hub posts. But this is the first hub post they dropped back on August 25th. Actually August 20th, 2025, because they want to be European with the way they put the date. Anyways, so here we go. Welcome to Haddonfield. IllFonic, Compass International Pictures, Further Front, and Gun Interactive are bringing the next big thing in asymmetrical horror, Halloween. Heavily regarded as the blueprint for the modern slasher, Halloween 1978 has left an undeniable and indelible mark on modern horror. The teams behind some of the most successful modern horror game titles join their publishing forces with the original producers of the film franchise to deliver the definitive iteration of this landmark property. IllFonic and Gun Interactive, in partnership with Compass International Pictures and Further Front, present Halloween. The teams are thrilled to come together again to bring an IP this important and near and dear to their hearts to the asymmetrical horror landscape. All massive fans of the 1978 classic, with IllFonic at the helm of development and publishing, and Gun providing publishing support. The goal is to not only do Halloween justice, but to once again innovate in the asymmetrical horror space. Charles Brungart, CEO at IllFonic, states, "Working with Gun again presents an opportunity to showcase how both companies have grown since the last time they collaborated." He states, "I am looking forward to implementing the lessons we have learned since then and getting this game to market and partnering with Malika Cod and Ryan Freeman, the film's original producers. Compass and Further Front has given us amazing insight and guidance into this quintessential horror IP." Wes Keltner, CEO at Gun Interactive, adds, "When Chuck reached out to me with this opportunity to help, I didn't hesitate. It's exciting to bring these two teams back together again, and it certainly helps that we are working on one of the greatest horror films. We're always ready to support a friend like IllFonic." There is a lot of ground to cover in revealing this project to you all, and the hub is already populated with a few key pieces to start that foundation. Please do check out hub posts tackling single and multiplayer modes in Halloween and constructing the ultimate horror sandbox. Keep an eye on this space for more news as it happens. Bringing this world to gamers everywhere is extremely exciting for the whole development team at IllFonic, shares Jared Jaredson, I guess, Chief Creative Officer at IllFonic. "We cannot wait to share more information as we work toward launch in 2026. And that's awesome. Alright. So yeah, that was like the main hub post. Now we can also dive into this part of that hub post, which is tackling single player and multiplayer modes in Halloween. Oh yeah, he can drive, right? Yeah. Yeah, because imagine him running people over. I mean, he ran the kid over in Halloween 5, right? Didn't That's kind of what he did. So I mean, who knows? Maybe you can run people over as him. That'd be an interesting twist, wouldn't it? But he did do that in Halloween 5. I mean, they didn't really like show it, but I think that's kind of what they were trying to suggest because I don't think they were allowed to show a kid getting run over or something on TV or what, or like in the movie or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's what was highly suggested in Halloween 5. I don't know though. Yeah, run the bully squads down or however they think they're gonna bully or whatever they want to do. Because I don't think you can. I don't think you can kill Michael Myers at all. I think it's the first like IllFonic game where you can't kill the I don't think you can kill Myers. I think you just all you can do is slow him down. I don't know yet though. We'll see. So here we go. Tackling single and multiplayer modes in Halloween. IllFonic dives into why making a single-player narrative in Halloween was a must. Heralded as one of the very best in the genre, John Carpenter's Halloween stands above the rest when it comes to storytelling and tension. Jared Garrettson knew that this project wouldn't have been complete with just a fun multiplayer experience. There needed to be an immersive single-player component to fully bring a true horror experience to players. In the multiplayer mode, you and up to 4 players can join up to help free your town from death itself, with an array of interactable elements. Players will have to team up, be smart, brave, and efficient to aid their friends and the folks of Haddonfield in thwarting Michael Myers, explore the film locations you know, and love across multiple maps, and who knows, maybe you'll find some sweet Easter eggs from the horror masterpiece along the way. When we loaded, when we looked at how can we take asymmetrical horror to the next level for this project, we knew adding in a single-player mode would set us apart from other titles in the genre. Shares Jared Jarrettson, CCO at IllFonic. Jared continues, we believe that fun factor and gameplay comes above all, and adding this in definitely adds to that formula. Wanting to give fans the best experience alongside the multiplayer mode, the narrative for single player in Halloween takes on a new shape. Playing as Michael Myers, walk through memorable locations from the 1978 classics such as the Myers house or bask in the recreated atmosphere of Haddonfield. Wanting to bring players in a mix of multiplayer fun with their desire to enjoy an immersive and interactive cinematic experience, we placed emphasis on exploration and replayability in the single-player mode, with that largely informing the design of story mode. We hope to transport our players to 1970 Haddonfield for a Halloween they'll never forget, if they survive it. Special items and collectibles will be exclusive to this mode, and we cannot wait to unveil those later. So that's also exciting to know. Now we can also talk about constructing the ultimate horror sandbox. Read how Halloween aims to elevate immersion to offer the perfect horror playground. But with enough force, you can arrest him, but you need an officer or Dr. Loomis, and you have to knock him down so many times, and also play a minigame, so it's going to be complicated. Yeah, that's how it should be. I always felt it was way too easy to kill Jason in this game. It was so easy. It was ridiculous. Even like the best Jasons were all vulnerable to getting killed. And I feel like it was way too easy. It should never have been that easy. I feel like they should have made it in a way where going into his shack was like the most riskiest play of the game. I feel like that's how it should have been. I feel like going into Jason's shack should have been the actual last resort. Not this whole, I'm spawned and I know where the shack is. I'm just gonna go for the sweater and kill him with 6 finesses. It's so ridiculous. It's like, well, who's the threat now? Is it the counselors or is it the Jason? And do you have to be? Why do you need to be some top tier Jason with like 10,000 hours? You know what I'm saying, to beat all that. Yeah, the perks are definitely a part of it, but then also knowing the RNG, like knowing exactly which cabin was Tommy's cabin, with knowing exactly where the shack was just based on the intro. There were people that knew that about this game. They knew where the shack was based on the intro. They knew where Tommy's cabin was based on the intro. And the RNG of this game, like, you'd have the phone cabin and then you'd have the fuse right next to it somewhere. You know what I mean? The RNG was terrible. And there weren't very many maps, so it was very easy to learn. And the more you played it, the more you understood it. And it was so easy to figure all that stuff out and know where everything was going to be. And just do it. And, like, get the car started, get the 4C started. And then use the phone. And then you'd have to, as Jason, you'd have to negotiate, morphing back and forth to which one is more important. Do I let them call the police or do I let them get out in the 4-seater? You know? And that's what made it so hard. Yeah, his mask is gone, exactly. And there's like, a lot of people weren't really good at blocking with him. And having to even block in the first place, it's kind of goofy. That was a meta all its own. But I mean, is it a combat game or is it a horror game? You know what I'm saying? So like that also took away from it. Him having to block, like that whole thing. I mean, it was cool to learn how to do that and be good at it. Yeah, if you walk through 10 bear traps, his mask is gone. And then what people started doing, they started bear trapping the throwing knives. So you had like absolutely no defense at all. So like, who's really the villain in the game? Is it Jason or the counselors at that point? You know. So that really took away from a lot of it, and it didn't take a tournament player to figure that out. Anybody could have figured that out if they had enough hours in the game. It's just tournament and league players were predominant with it because they just were known for having the most hours in the game. They were known for learning all this stuff. But there was other people who knew it too. They just didn't get involved in that. Didn't get involved in that scene or whatever. But that's why I believe that like overtaking the killer in any of these games should be the most difficult thing there is. It should not be very easy, and it shouldn't be something you can learn off of like 100 hours in the game. It should be something that's more complicated and harder to do, and it shouldn't be so easy to escape either. That's the other thing. Those are two key factors where like, oh, the battery's here, the gas is there, and the keys are here. Boom. We got the car started in 2 minutes, and we'll just bring this new player who has 10 seconds in the game, and they'll escape in 2 minutes into the match. Like, that's ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? It was so badly balanced. So horribly unbalanced, you know what I'm saying? No, this is the F-13 cabin. What's up, Lil Hang? What's up, dude? This is the F-13 virtual cabin. My bad, I'll move around a bit. But that's what this is. This is the virtual cabin from F-13, the game. It's what I use when I'm talking about other games that aren't out yet. I always thought this was pretty cool because look at that. He ends up playing Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game as well. I also love this reference right here. This is obviously a reference to Fangoria magazine, and I thought that was really cool. Oh yeah, I used to do that all the time. I always did the L1 shift. It just made it easier. I don't even consider that an exploit. I always thought that was just part of the game. I don't know. I don't think it was an exploit. I think you should have control over where you're going. I'm pretty sure when you do shapeshift in Halloween, you have control over where you're going too. So I feel like you should always have control over where you're going. Yeah, I think it was L1. Pretty sure you're right about that. But yeah, like these games have all the potential in the world, and I think this one is really gonna break the mold that all the other ones could not. And that's why I'm excited for it, and that's why I'm gonna support it. Just as I supported all the other games, I think this one finally has the legal framework we're looking for so that it actually can continue with content without any nonsense, like other ones we've known in the past, unfortunately. Yeah, but definitely. So let me read up on this next post right here about constructing the ultimate horror sandbox. Let's read about that now. Alright, here we go. From its earliest iterations, Halloween has been built with the goal of delivering a dynamic, enveloping horror sandbox worthy of the legacy of its iconic source IP. Intellectual property, that's what IP stands for. As horror fans, we understand the importance of frighteningly relatable locations, believable characters, and dread-inducing situations, and wanted to ensure those fundamentals were presented throughout Halloween. As an homage to the meticulously crafted execution of John Carpenter's Halloween, our team has worked diligently to recreate the quaint town of Haddonfield as a living, breathing game world for players to exhaustively explore. Working with Malika Cod and Ryan Freeman, the original producers of the films, has been amazing to make certain that the game is authentic to the source material every step of the way. This franchise gives us the perfect opportunity to explore the unique yet familiar vibes of Haddonfield and its iconic killer. Everything we've built and designed comes together to create the perfect horror sandbox playground to interact with. We couldn't be more thrilled to develop such an experience and truly bring players into the world of Halloween. It's an exciting challenge to craft a time, place, and lifestyle that sets the stage for recreating the terrifying experiences of the original film. Not only did we get to build one of the most iconic killers of all time, but we also got to reconstruct Haddonfield as a period-accurate 1978 town, filled with unique interior and exterior gameplay spaces. While Michael stalks kills in these seemingly safe streets, the victims work to scour the world for helpful items to fight back against the shape before it's too late. We've built a suburban playground brimming with endless opportunities that empowers players to star in their own horror movies, where their choices decide the fates of everyone around them, shares Jordan Mathewson, design director IllFonic. When does the game come out? It comes out, what, September? Yeah, September. Yeah, you cut the power. It doesn't cut the phone line because it's based in the 1970s, so you have the landline thing. Yeah, I mean, landlines are still the same though. Landline, unless you have a cordless phone, landlines still don't need power. Unless you have a phone that requires power, but you can still buy a basic landline that does not require electricity, and without power it'll still work. Most phones are digital now, and so they kind of get fucked up when you cut the power or whatever. But that's just because people want to buy digital phones. Yeah, September 8th, September 4th if you pre-order. There we go. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Let's see what else they wrote. Effective scares are often executed through a careful concoction of stark lighting, unsettling atmosphere, anxious musical stabs, and most importantly, the element of unpredictability. Halloween leverages Unreal Engine 5 to provide convincing in-game locations and familiar landmarks from Haddonfield with an expansive array of dynamic map features, distinct gameplay systems, and lifelike NPC interactions, all accompanied by haunting visuals and chilling audio that adapts to the world and actions around you. Since day one, our mission has been attempting to honor the aesthetics captured in the original film. We've strived to faithfully recreate the look, feeling, and tone of the horror classic. The 70s were a very specific moment in time in terms of style and decor, and we made sure to immerse ourselves in those design principles to provide convincing environments reminiscent of the era. We want players to feel connected to the authenticity of Haddonfield. Cole Gray, art director at IllFonic, explains, "Our teams combed through every frame of the film to ensure the visual fidelity and presentation was fitting of our horror sandbox. Today's technological advancements enabled us to more potently recreate the noir in the film." And that's so awesome, because I believe it, you know what I mean? I really feel like that's exactly what IllFonic and Gunn did with this game, as best they could, you know? And it's definitely something that Gunn did with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game as well. Like, if you watched the movie and then you played Family House, there's no way you weren't impressed by that level of authenticity. Same thing if you watched at 13 Part 3 and then played on Higgins Haven, that level of authenticity was there as well with the Higgins Haven house, or whatever you want to call it, you know? It's all there, and it's going to be there in Halloween. So with respect to authenticity as a horror fan, you're not going to be disappointed at all, and that's going to be one of the best parts about that game, about this game, you know? That's one thing I definitely look forward to. And they also say, like, whether it's allowing players to step behind the mask and shape the critical narrative events of the night he came home through the eyes of Michael Myers in a standalone single-player story mode or cooperating with friends as the heroes of the Haddonfield to rescue innocent residents in elevated asymmetrical multiplayer matches. We are heavily investing in core systems designed to foster engaging, unpredictable sessions with endless replayability. Our commitments to Sandbox first design decisions are guiding these principles, and we can't wait for players to experience Halloween for themselves. Replayability is such a critical component to any compelling gameplay loop, which is why we've dedicated extra development time to ensure we deliver a cohesive and endless replayable horror game. The foundations of our design goals center around an engaging core that breeds infinite possibilities throughout the game. Regardless of how you choose to play, from the moment-to-moment gameplay to the front-end meta progression experience, there will be consistent possibilities evolving around you. The feature and mechanic alchemy throughout Halloween has been catered to allow for expansive gameplay combinations, ensuring you are being fed that tantalizing sense of excitement while leaving you hungry for more, Jordan adds. That's probably the most important part of this game. If you can maintain that, like, replayability that makes you want to keep coming back, keep playing, and keep enduring, and, like, just trying new things and everything, that's highly significant. you know. So the story mode will have 6 chapters and a lot of difficulties, and you will unlock cosmetics to doing it, like Bob Ghost Sheet. Oh, that's cool. I hope that playing it on hard unlocks cosmetics too, but I bet it won't. That's my breed of gamer, but you know, it's not everybody's breed of gamer. But we'll see. Hopefully playing them on hard mode allows you some distinguishment and isn't just for you. You know what I'm saying? Hard modes are significant because they test appetency, and for someone like me, it's important to have that because I like testing myself. I'm 39 years old, man, and I'm out here playing God of War, and I'm playing a lot of other games on their hardest difficulty and beating them. You know what I mean? So if I can do it at my age, you guys can do it at your younger age, you know? Anyways, I know people like to have fun, but people like me like to prove themselves to themselves. I don't do it to say, oh, I did it and you didn't. I do it to see if I can still do it, you know what I'm saying? And so it's important for me to be able to show that I can still do it and teach other people how to do it too. That's what I like about it, because I know I can, you know what I mean? I know I can teach people how to play hard difficulties and understand different levels of gameplay in games like this. Stuff moves faster. Yeah, no, it does, man. Stuff does move faster. It's annoying too, but it's all good. It's all there. You know what I mean? It's all doable. It's all about understanding what's gonna come and hit you before you allow it to. You know. Once you have that all down pat, you're good. You know. But no, it's all doable. You know. And taking the time to understand that and learn that is gonna be a lot of fun. Because, like, for me as a gamer, when a game has a hard mode that's actually worth playing on, I will not feel like I'm done with the game until I've beaten it on that hard difficulty. You know what I'm saying? If I beat a game that has, like, an extreme difficulty that's worth playing it on, and I play that game on easy mode, I'm not going to feel like I beat it until I beat it on its hardest difficulty. Because that'll be the full experience of the game, in my personal opinion. And that's why I'm like that with games, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't feel like I've gotten the full experience out of it unless I've played it and beaten it on its hardest mode. You know? Some people like to have fun. I just like to challenge myself. So that's my take on all that. It doesn't mean I'm better than the person who wants to have fun. It also doesn't mean that the person that wants to have fun is better than me either. You know what I'm saying? It's just preference. Everyone has their preference. I don't think I've ever really explained it like that before. So that actually makes more sense than I just play it on the hardcore difficulty to play it on the hardcore difficulty. I just do it because I like to test myself where other people play on easy or whatever. Because they like to have, that's where they have fun. Well, the hard mode is where I have fun. And that's where I like to test my skills as a person, as a gamer. See, the thing is about gaming, what people don't get, what the skills you actually learn from being a gamer, you learn quality assurance, whether you believe it or not. You're learning quality assurance right there. You're learning skills in playing games like this, any game. And if you play games on hard difficulties, you're learning other skills that you can apply to real life. People don't think about that though, you know what I'm saying? People don't actually take that into account, but you do, and it's like a real thing. I'm not just making that up. They're gonna talk about the game more probably next month because they said Myers has more abilities that they didn't talk about. Yeah, they want to. Yeah, that makes sense too, because they want to release it in pieces. They don't want to just give everybody everything right away, and I understand that for sure. They want to release it piece by piece, keep the, everyone's appetite, you know what I mean, going for it. And I agree with that. I think that's the best way to do all this. because that will keep people invested and interested in it as well. Um, but yeah, they are definitely going to respect the source material. When the game first comes out and you're on that main map with the main houses, I'm not going to talk about what that's all called yet. I'll bring all that up once I get to that community hub post. I'm gonna do like a live stream on this game based on all the hub posts that have come out each night this week until I'm up to date with it. Then whenever post comes out next, I'll talk about that next. But yeah, I'm gonna now start keeping up with this and everything. So I'm excited to do that. But yeah, that's definitely gonna be significant. Yeah, so you know how to play exactly, and that's important. That was actually the best part of Evil Dead the game. Um, Whether people like that game or not, Evil Dead the game, that the single player missions in that game were really hard, but they were really good. And once you figured them out, they made you a lot better at the game. Unfortunately, the demon side didn't really have that, but the I don't know what it was. I forgot what it was called. The other side, the human side, I guess, whatever it was. And that game did have that, and it really taught you how to be good on that side. Yeah, Evil Dead had potential. It just took too long for the demon to get powerful enough to actually do anything really valid. But I mean, that game had different devs, but it's all part of asymmetrical horror, and it's all part of them working together to teach each other to learn. And I think there's like a whole crew. I think Boss Team Games, IllFonic, and Gun all work together in the background. They aren't like Boss Team Games is not working on this game at all. I think they started it, but then IllFonic took over it. But I think overall, I think they meet up with each other as like asymmetrical horror dev companies and make decisions, and those decisions affect all upcoming games that they work on. You just don't see it or hear it, but I'm pretty sure they all kind of like are their own kind of team overall, and they all make decisions which impact these games, and so they learn from each other and they grow together and make these games better together. I think that's what happens in the background. I can't prove that, but if you read their X posts and stuff, I think you'll see what I mean if you really look at all of what they say and pay attention to everything going on. I'm pretty sure they all do make decisions together in the background, and then it comes to fruition in their games over time, you know? But let's see what else we can talk about. But yeah, after reading this first post, how confident are you that IllFonic is actually going to deliver something better than F-13 and Texas Chainsaw Massacre? That's my question to you guys. You can leave that in the live stream, in the comments. But I think that's the main point. That's what the challenge is, right? That's what their challenge is to us. Do we think that they can top F-13 the game? Do we think that they can top Texas Chainsaw Massacre the game with a Halloween the game IP? Do you think it'll last longer? Do you think the cosmetics will be better than Texas Chainsaw? Do you think the core mechanic of gameplay will be better than F-13 and Texas Chainsaw? F-13 had great cosmetics, that's why I'm not really bringing theirs into account. However, like, yeah, so the survivors, or what were they called? Victims, yeah. There were victims in Texas Chainsaw Massacre the game. Their cosmetics were very authentic to the time period, but I think IllFonic is gonna take that a step further. They're gonna be authentic to the time period, but I think the cosmetics we're gonna see are gonna be a lot more fun. I think they're gonna play around a lot more with what they have to offer than what we got in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. However, I'll always love the Nicotero Leatherface skin. I think that was awesome. I don't think anything really beats that. So we'll see what they come out with in this game with what'll be like Michael Myers' best cosmetic. You know what I mean? I don't really care what the price tag is on it. Everyone cries and moans about stuff like that, but then when COD comes out with something, they're the first in line to spend $30 on that, though, aren't they? So I really don't want to hear about prices of cosmetics. I don't really care. People are gonna buy it because you're all out here buying what $25 cosmetics in this game, $30 cosmetics in that game, and they look goofy in those games, bro. Like, come on. You play as Michael Myers in COD. He stands there with his arms folded, bro. I don't want to hear it. That looks goofy, and you all spent $30 on it. So I don't want to hear anything about how expensive whatever's in this game. I don't care. I know I'm gonna buy it. They'll have a roadmap, yeah, and I'm pretty sure they'll abide by it too. You know what I mean? As long as the core gameplay mechanics are good and fun, and definitely as replayable as they say they will be, it will evolve, and it'll be great, and it will last. That's all that it needs. And if there's a level system, they better freaking keep increasing the cap. Once they stop, that's what you want to look for. Once they refuse to increase the level cap, that's how you know the game's that's when the game's done. But as long as the level cap or whatever progression system keeps going and rotating and furthering, then you know the game's going to keep going. That's all you need to base it on. That's it right there in a nutshell. That's how it all works. You don't need them to tell you the game's done. Once they stop that progression system from progressing onward, and they take away what you're playing for, mainly, that's really it for the game right there. That's how it goes. Each character has their own progression, and the more you level up, the more stuff you unlock. You can level up Myers too. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I like that it's restricted to each individual, so that you're not leveling them all up at once. You know what I'm saying? I think it should be individual. It gives you more to work with, and it gives you more to perfect with each character too. So you have a total of 12 characters to level up. Yeah, that's awesome. So you can work on each one and understand how to play each one, whether you like them or not, you know. I think it's important to play as every character too, especially if each character has their own different strengths and weaknesses, because that's how these games are. The more you play as one character and then you have a hard time against another character, then you need to learn to play as that character you're having the hard time playing against, because then you'll understand their strengths and weaknesses. That's always how it's gone for these games. You know what I'm saying? As long as there's no broken nonsense like Johnny in Texas Chainsaw, where he's just dancing around with a knife. That was just, I don't know. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous, but whatever. I liked how he was though in that sorority game mode. That was really cool. That was fun. That was the best Johnny there was, in my opinion, because it was balanced and it was hard, and there was a lot of rebalancing that game mode required, but it was a lot of fun too. But that was the real Johnny, in my opinion. That actually got me to play Killer again in that game, because of how hard it was to actually play that version of Johnny, as opposed to the nonsense one that was in the online multiplayer in that game. I liked that Johnny though, because that was challenging and actually required you to plan out what you were doing, understand that sorority house and everything, and he felt like you were playing against Michael Myers in that. It really did. It felt really cool. It felt like a premonition to this Halloween game right there. And so, whatever they were testing with that game mode, I hope it comes to fruition in the Halloween game like 100 times better. And if it does, then we're in for a lot of fun, you know? And so yeah, that's mainly it. That's the big question. Are you confident that IllFonic is actually going to deliver something better than F-13 and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What do you guys think? Will they do that with this? Do you see that happening with IllFonic and Gun Interactive teaming up again to make another banger? Or do you think it's just going to collapse like this game and TCSM did? Do you think Halloween has a future? Or do you think it's just going to have that beginning hype that we're going to ride on and then it's just going to go to waste? I don't know. I think it has a potential. I hope it has a potential, and I hope it progresses and evolves and keeps going as long as it can. I hope the gameplay is not boring. I hope that you can actually stay interested in it. You know what I mean? I think if there's exploits, I hope they fix them right away so that it doesn't diminish the gameplay at all. And I look forward to playing it, and I look forward to understanding the meta of the gameplay and maintaining a balance through patches, nerfs, and buffs and whatnot. And I hope here's the things I'm really looking forward to. What I want are in-game collectibles, like tapes or something, you know what I mean? Some kind of thing that just creates a little bit of a narrative. I think that'll be really cool. I loved that about F-13, and I loved that about Killer Clowns and Predator Hunting Grounds as well. They all had tapes, or whatever they were in Predator Hunting Grounds. There was something that created a narrative, and I hope they do that with this Halloween game as well. I think it would be cool if they had like Loomis doing something, you know what I'm saying? Because why not? Why not have like a whole immersive Loomis experience on tapes or something that you collect in the game? I always loved that about F-13 and Predator Hunting Grounds. You think it has a longer future than TCM and maybe Friday, but they want to do with the Nightmare on Elm Street game though. Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street's gonna be difficult though, because I know with that they want the original license, and I don't think it's very easy to get the original license. They do not want the remake license at all. They want the original license, and so I don't know if they can do that. And I think because they can't do that, there's an issue with Nightmare on Elm Street for sure. They did originally want that, but then they just went with F-13 because they could not license the original Nightmare on Elm Street IP. And they definitely did not want to license the remake at all. I know that. So if they can get the original license for the original IP, then we'll definitely see it. But until then, we have to wait. Yeah, he wants a lot of money. So, I mean, honestly, if this is helping them build up enough money to do that eventually, that'll be great. And maybe once they get that, maybe then we'll see progression more in other games too. Who knows? You know? But until then, I think we have a lot to look forward to with this. So what's today? Sunday? Or it's Monday morning. It's Sunday, though. Tomorrow I'll be on again with this in the same virtual cabin talking about the other community hub posts for sure. But until then, I appreciate everybody who hung out. Definitely like the live stream if you can. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, because the more you do that, the more it helps the stream, especially if you enjoyed it, because then more people will see it and they can enjoy it just like you did. So I'd appreciate that for sure. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me for it. Helps me talk about it more. Helps me produce more content more. And it just allows other people to enjoy the stream like you did. So thank you for that. But yeah, I would have totally have loved a Jason Goes to Hell map in F-13 game. That would have been the best part. Yeah, man, you too. Thanks for hanging out with me, Craig. I really appreciate that. You helped me keep it going for sure. You know, a lot of people like to lurk and all that, which is absolutely fine. I appreciate that too. But the more people talk, the easier it is for me to have something to go on. Especially like if it's something you want me to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna throw anything at you. I'm not gonna be like, oh, well, you shouldn't. I'm not. I try not to be a gatekeeper at all. A lot of people do though, especially with horror. A lot of people love to gatekeep this stuff and be annoying and be way too nerdy about it, and it's so goofy for no reason. It's not worth it at all. So yeah, what I think you guys should do is after watching this stream, you should definitely I'm gonna put it in the description too. I'm gonna put the trailer for this game in my description. You guys should watch the trailer to the game. I'm actually gonna get that up right now. There we go. But yeah, here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna put it right here. Perfect. There we go. But yeah, thanks for the likes and comments and all that stuff too. I appreciate that. Really helps. That's why I phrase it the way I do. You're helping me out, but you're also helping other people out that want to enjoy content like this from me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's kind of what it's all about with that. But yeah, and I'll be honest, because that is what it is. I'm not gonna lie and like act like I don't want people to watch my stream. Yeah, I do. But I feel like if they do, they will enjoy it. I mean, I know it's like a lot of boring talking from me, but the points that I'm bringing up and the comments that Craig has made in the stream definitely made it a lot better than it could have been, and I'm really appreciative for that and everything. And I definitely will have lots more to talk about tomorrow night with the other community hub posts and all that. And you'll be streaming it too? Hell yeah, definitely go for it. I'm gonna be streaming it on here on YouTube. I'm not really big on Twitch anymore. I don't really stream on Twitch at all. I just stream on YouTube now. I feel like YouTube is I prefer YouTube as a platform. I think it's a more professional platform, and I also feel like the grind is way more difficult, but on purpose. And I agree with that. I think it should be more difficult and on purpose and more professional than other platforms, in my opinion. And I think they have that down right, because it's like, if you have the right people around you, it's very simple to get affiliated on Twitch. However, to get partnered on YouTube, it's a way longer grind, but it's way more worth it, and I like that about it, you know. So we'll see where we go with it. But yeah, obviously that's the goal, and that's what we're gonna work toward with this game, and I think we'll do it for sure. I have a lot of faith in that, and especially that with the other content that I throw out there with God of War or Diablo. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I do, it's to help that grow, and that's why I stream it and everything, and that's why I want to get as far as I can, because I have a lot to talk about, not just the games, but everything, you know. And so I'll leave it at that. That's the big question, though. Will Halloween the game top F13 the game, and will Halloween the game top Texas Chainsaw Massacre the game? Will it top them both? Will it maximize its longevity to beat them both? What do you guys think? If you're a female, you have no idea. Make money on Twitch. I mean, those girls, they know what they're doing. Trust me, they all know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing, and you can't blame them either. I mean, it's not really them. They're not the issue. It's the guys sitting there that are simping toward it. That's where the issue is. You know what I'm saying? The girls are just taking advantage. I mean, and why not? You know what I mean? You might as well. If men are gonna act like that, act like they never saw a woman before in their life, and they see them on Twitch, and be like, oh my god, you're the love of my life. You know what I mean? They're really not. Like, bro, you want to play that game, go right ahead. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if women figured that out, that's fine. And it's not their fault. These men out here giving them their whole entire paycheck over a simple live stream. That's on them, man. It's hilarious too. 'Cause it's not something I'm into. I'm not doing that at all, bro. No way. It's funny when guys do it though, and I mean the girls love it because they're benefiting from it. But I mean, yeah, it's really funny, and there's nothing wrong with benefiting from that. If guys are gonna throw you money just for sitting there and playing a game and saying whatever, and they're gonna throw their whole paycheck at you, you might as well do it. You know what I'm saying? You might as well take advantage of it. It's actually pretty smart if you think about it. It's the guy's fault though for being that way and playing that vulnerable game and acting like that and doing that. But that's how they feel. That's what helps them with their low self-esteem. They can go for it and do it. I'm definitely not gonna do that though. It's just not my thing. But it's funny. But yeah, Twitch is more for that. Literally, that's what I see. Working out on that. I mean, I'm sure it's on this platform too, but I feel like it's a lot different, you know what I mean? I feel like this platform, because it's the original one, for one thing, has more of a variety of content creators on it that are way more established that don't need to do that to, get a following and to get people to watch them and all that, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I appreciate this platform more, because of the fact that it is more of a grind. Whereas Twitch is not, you know what I'm saying? And so, because Twitch is less of a grind, it's easier to get affiliated on, it's easier to make money on, and so more people are going to run toward it because of that, and get affiliated and make their money that they want to make, and not really understand the grind that this platform requires, the dedication that this platform requires, and the professionalism that this platform requires because of the grind it takes to become partnered on it, you know? If Halloween get past 2 years and get DVD players interested, then it might go past Friday, but Friday lasted a long time. Longer than that you thought if they didn't have a lawsuit. Yeah, no, it did. They tried to keep it alive as long as they could. You know what I'm saying? And people have this and that to say about it, but at the same time, I mean, there's only so much you can do and so much you can release. And you don't want to release new things, even if they could release Uber Jason, you don't want to release it because you will then, if something happens in that lawsuit and pulls the game in, all that you made off the game is going to go into that lawsuit and into someone else's pocket. And that's what people don't talk about, you know what I'm saying? That's the problem, you know? And that's what could have happened, and that's why they stopped. They had to protect themselves from that, you know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of people don't remember or think about, you know? You can hate on Gun, you can hate on IllFonic, but you can also remember that game was made and being used by Horror Inc. It was literally being, everything they were making off the game, a lot of it was being extracted and used to prolong that lawsuit, you know? Keeping everything the way it is, even now, I mean, there's an issue with it. Look at Jason Universe, just look at that. Look at what you got in DVD. That's not Jason, that's not even F-13. That's not even Camp Crystal Lake, man. Like, come on, dude, what are you kidding me? I bought it. I think I bought one cosmetic and that's it from it, you know, and that's nothing against behavior, that's nothing against DVD, that's against the Barsimians not making a deal with New Line and Paramount, you know, and again, it's the same issue, it's the same exact thing where we want our cut, but we don't want to give it out to anybody else, so it's not going to be F-13 anymore, it's just going to be Jason this and Jason that, and so it's going to be like this corporate Jason nonsense that you see, and it's not going to be what we all know at all, you know? Yeah, they are losing money, and they still are. I mean, yeah, they're making money off of it, but they're not making what they could make if they just struck a deal with Paramount and New Line. Exactly. It's not F-13, it's just Jason Universe. So because it's literally kneecapped, if you will. It's broken. It's the broken version of what we could have had. But again, it's people who only want to make what they want to make and not be innovative and progressive and make what they could make, you know? And again, like I always say, what do I know? I'm pretty sure I know that if Behavior were able to release Jason as Friday 13th with that logo and with the whole Camp Crystal Lake map, it would have blown up a lot harder than it did. We all know that. We all know that. If it was the Friday 13th chapter and not a Jason chapter called the Slasher, that would have blown up way harder than it did. But it didn't, because that's not what they did. That's not what they were allowed to do. And again, I'm making this point as clear as day. That's not Behavior's fault. That's Jason Universe's fault for not making a deal with Paramount and not making a deal with New Line. That's simple. It's that simple. You want to make what? 50 million, or do you want to make 500 million? Right? Or let me put it this way. Here's what we can do. Do you want to make 500 million off of F-13 and take home what, 100, or do you want to just make 50 million? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. I'm not saying they're making 50 million off of DVD. I'm just saying there are numbers out there that they can touch, but they won't, because they only want what they're making out of the money they're making. They're only making a small amount. Whereas if they were to get the F-13 license itself and make everything all inclusive and get everybody a part of it, they'd make so much more. But you know, what do I know, right? Exactly. And that's where the issue, therein lies the issue with that. You know what I mean? And I don't know what kind of F-13 movie we're gonna get next, or it's just gonna be a Jason movie. But like, come on, dude. It could be so much more than it is, and it'll never be what it was with the way it is now. So hopefully, once Paramount finally gets the okay from all these countries and all these people who are looking at the buyout with Warner Brothers, because that's kind of how that goes. So other countries are allowed to get involved in that and actually help make the decision on that. They can tell them no too. It's a whole thing that goes into that. It's not just our Federal Trade Commission. Other countries are allowed to have a say in that too, and so we have to wait for them to make their decisions on that. But once that goes through, maybe we'll see something better than just Jason Universe, because as of right now, hopefully that's all that this is. It's just a bridge until that happens, and then we'll actually see something much better. But Jason will not be Jason until we see, unless we see him behind the F-13 license again. That'll be the real Jason. That'll be the real content with that. And I mean, you want to be happy with what you got, great, good for you. You want to settle, good for you. You want to settle with what we got with that, good for you. Have fun. Settle for less or strive for more. That's what I say to that. You can settle for less or strive for more. And I, as a fan of F-13, want to strive for more. I don't want to settle for less. So always keep that in your head with that. Always take everything they release with a grain of salt. And remember, you can settle for less with Jason Universe, or you can strive for more with Friday 13th. That's another point I want to talk about. I am now injecting into this whole thing. Settle for less with Jason Universe, or strive for more with Friday 13th. Remember that, because that's what it's all about. That's what I'll leave it with, though. Will Halloween the game progress beyond Texas Chainsaw Massacre and F-13 the game? And will we be able to strive for more with Friday 13th, or will we have to keep settling for less with Jason Universe? That is the question. Leave that in the comments. Like, subscribe, so that more people can get in on that argument and enjoy this live stream as you guys did. I appreciate everybody who watched, and I'll see you tomorrow night with the next Community Hub post from Halloween the Game. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.